take my tips and pay me below minimum wage? See what happens. So this all happened years ago when I was still in college. I worked for a delivery joint. The company seemed super cool because they provided vehicles instead of forcing you to beat down your own car. Huge perk, right? Well, in this case, no. The owner of the company used this as a justification to take a percentage of the driver's tips. Often, this would result in an employee making below minimum wage. If you made below minimum wage, you would have to come and pick up your check in person and sign a document attesting that you did make minimum wage due to undocumented cash tips or some such nonsense. Now, this was a problem for two reasons. Number one, in the state I was in, employee tips belong to the employee unless part of an employee tip pooling agreement. This was plain as day on the Department of Labor website, so that 20% gouge was already crossing a line. Number two, you cannot handwave and or force employees to say they made above minimum wage. So pretty shady shit, right? Now, most people would see this situation and run for the hills, which probably explained the delivery driver turnover being so high. I, on the other hand, saw the potential. See, I am pretty well versed in labor law and decided that I was gonna ride it out. I wanted to see how long they would keep this shit up. Here and there, I would make comments to the managers about the legality of their practices and was often told our lawyers said it was okay, so it's okay. Would love to meet these lawyers one day. So I patiently waited for a year, documenting every red cent they took from me and encouraging the other drivers to do so. Every new driver that came through that door got a little powwow with me and I would give them the skinny. Unfortunately, my plan must have leaked because sooner than later, the joint decided to fire me after making up 3 bogus infractions. This wasn't a problem though, as my plan was already in action. See, in this state, unpaid wages collects interest. So what was $20, $40 a night, 5 nights a week over 1 year, quickly became a decent sum. So I began collecting the names of current and previous employees whom had been screwed over by the company and collected their document data, then sent it off to the Department of Labor. At the end of the day, it took a couple of months, but the company was eventually required to pay a decent chunk of change to all parties and a pretty hefty fine on top. Overall, I believe it came out to a little under 100k. I wasn't done though. See, those shady little documents they had us sign claiming we made over minimum wage affected how the company was reporting its payroll tax. The IRS eventually came in and hit them for a ton of back taxes, and I received a small portion of the settlement. The IRS used to pay people who tipped them off, don't know if they still do. Finally, I was increasingly aware of the company's under-the-table agreement with their health inspector, which I decided to go ahead and tip off to the health department. This resulted in even more fines and a temporary closure for the joint. Altogether, it ended up costing this dumb little delivery joint a ton of money just to stay open, all cause they wanted 20% of their drivers' tips. The moral here is this: know your labor laws. It's degenerates like these whom profit off the ignorance or fear of a workforce. The more you know about your rights, the less idiots like these will be able to survive in the wild. So that's the story for today's video. A thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.